I gotta come to Charlotte soon. I haven't been since a couple of years now. I think the last time I went was Sukasa, which I need to go. I love a good Sukasa. Shout out to Jay Ziotic. Is unable to join. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Hi. Can you hear me?
London,
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
this you're good. Yes, I can. This is gonna. How about me? How's my audio?
It's good. It's good.
Okay, good. This is gonna make me feel like a total baby boomer with me doing this.
No, just talk. That's it. That's all. You do this all the time. You just had a panel.
I do. But the social media panels is where I'm like,
I know. I know. No
oh man.
worries. All
And
right.
thank you for having me. You look wonderful as
Oh,
always.
thank you. Thank you for coming, joining. Um, I have this cough that I can't get rid of, so please excuse me. I will be coughing through this.
Okay. Okay.
But first, let me explain what Creative Conversations is for people who don't know. It is a platform that I created for creatives of all types, whether you're a designer or a musician or a actress or whatever it is, to be able to come into community with one another and just discuss our processes, why we do the things that we do, why we're passionate about the things that we do, in hopes to inspire other people to do it, whether it's to make a profit or not, or whatever the case may be, just to inspire someone who's always sat there and wondered why they haven't started yet or taken the time to get started on what it is they want to create.
I love it.
Right now, I have with me someone I love dearly. You are the most amazing, one of the most amazing human beings that I know. And he hates when I do this, but I'm going to take full advantage. This is Ammar Belal. He is my boss and my brother. He is the owner, one of the co-founders, along with his brother Umar, which I think I need to get him on here before he goes.
Yeah.
um, 1432. So that's the brand that I work for. I'm not going to explain it. I want you to explain who you are. 1432. Yeah.
Wow. You'll have to cut me because you know I talk too much.
I love it. That's what I love.
I got this has to this has to be edited. 1432 is many things. It's not just my thing, but it was a way of thinking, I think. And it was about one step forward and three steps, I don't want to say back, but to reflect. And it was just let's call it a different way of doing things. And I think a lot of us, London and I connected, I would like to say, based on this belief and our shared sense of loneliness, thinking, is there anybody else out there who feels and does things or who's motivated the same way? And it feels lonely to feel that, think that, and operate with that in the world. But it's nice when you meet one person who also feels that, thinks that, works like that, gets inspired like that. You feel like you've met 100.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that moment when your path and my path crossed and how instantly we got along, because I was like, I trust you, I believe you, I trust you, you see me, I see you. And that's what 1432 really is about, to say, okay, how can we elevate those kind of folks having opportunity, having access, and for us not to feel lonely. So I know, okay, so that's just very broad, but
No,
but
that was perfect. That was
but
perfect.
but how we manifest that 1432 is a concept for just counter narratives, right? Like 1432 could be like, this is a different way to think about race, religion, culture, gender. Um, London knows this, that I'm humbled every day by how many mistakes I make and how wrong I am and can be. And I'm always trying to say, okay, what are my blind spots? Life is a journey where a person that you trust and loves calls you out to say, hey, this is something you're not noticing. It's not critique, but that's what 143. They're 1432ing you. They're like, this is the one you
Yes.
are operating in the 1 2 3 4, and let me come in and tell you how we do things in my home, my culture, my religion. So what that's being what I call that a 1432 way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can go on the rest of your life in a 1 2 3 4 way. So same kind of counter narrative, different way of doing things applied to our shared industry, which is fashion and retail. 1432 became a concept where we think about money differently. So we give half our money away. Where do we give it to? Like all this thing that I'm talking about is because I'm in education. I'm very blessed to be able to teach. And 1432 gives half our money to supporting schools in Pakistan, which is where I'm from. So, there's a lot of whys. We like why Pakistan, why education, why all of that. It all relates to, hey, I'm just trying to do right by my footstep. These are my footsteps. This is what I was born into. I'm reflecting and trying to honor my privilege and operate in this world and do my best to level it up and create. Yeah,
I
that's
love that. You know what I I never told you this, but what I love when I'm always at the shop and I'm explaining and they know I'm so passionate and Pakistan and da 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 da. And they're like, well, how did you get involved?
yeah, yeah,
Like I can't like
yeah,
love people from Pakistan because I'm not
yeah,
from there. I'm like, what?
yeah.
What?
But it's kindness, like you and I speak the currency of kindness, and it takes a certain amount of courage to operate. Like I said, it takes courage to operate in the world with that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so much easier to operate in the world being like, I pay you, you pay me, and yes, it's easier because it's you can evaluate it. You're like the value is $5, $100 to a.
Right.
But operating in the currents of kindness is very abstract and it's very unnerving. And you are one of the people, and I am one of the people. Like we operate in that. Sure, we both need money to live our lives and eat, but I think you and I both get out of bed and do what we do because it needs to say something more to us. Otherwise, we won't do it. Both of us, I know. Yeah.
You know I won't.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't. I
Yeah.
literally can't. Like it
Yeah.
just. I get to a point where my body physically doesn't allow me to do it.
Yeah.
Like, which I love. At first, I was like, "Damn, am I lazy? Like, am I getting older?" But the older I get, the wiser I get, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
do the things that you love, especially for other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Amar is in education. He's a professor at Columbia University and also Parsons. What do you teach for both of those?
So Parsons is where it kind of started. I'm an accidental teacher. I never thought I would be one, but my mother tells me that my grandfather, oh sorry, my mother's grandfather
Mhm.
was the principal of a very prestigious university in Pakistan. And my mom was raised by her grandfather a lot more than her own dad. So my mother's father was basically an educator. So I didn't really understand that connection because I was raised in a home where the expectation was that boys do business. Again, this is very privileged thinking, but very traditional thinking that boys go sell. And you know, if you asked me when I was 21 or 18 or 25 and said you're going to be an educator, I'm like, no. Um, but but it changed my life. I mean, there's many things wrong about the education system in America and globally, I would say. So before I talk about me being a professor, but I want to acknowledge that it is a broken system and there are many things wrong about it, how expensive it is, but why I'm still there. I've been a teacher for 12 years, accidentally, right after grad school, because I still love the most basic principle of education, which in my mind is service, right?
Mhm.
It's basically saying, hey, I, for whatever reason, have a little bit more experience than you, and I've lived this life or whatever life I've lived. And if I can even share 1 ounce of that knowledge to make it easier for you,
Yeah.
where when you come to the crossroads, you are more equipped. Um, it's a place of, it's, I call it confession. It's a place of humility for educators. It's not a place of power. It's a place of humility. It's a place where you check your conscience. Are you, it's a place, it's a safe space where where you should be able to discuss things that are, that make you feel vulnerable. It's all those things, right? That's why I feel like I'm still an educator. But yes, I went to grad school. I was fortunate enough to get a loan from the American government, which a lot of people in Pakistan can't have access to. And it changed my life because I got to study in my early 30s fashion or design, and I'd never studied it before that. I had been, and for me, it wasn't about the education, but just seeing the system from inside. And I'm like, my God, there's such a um, there's lack of representation
Yeah.
of my part of the world. Um, and I was like, am I the only person who's supposed to represent it? And I don't think I fully represent my country or my culture because I come from privilege. So I felt that if
I
I,
wouldn't say that. They are, when I tell you, when Pakistanis come up to the booth and they're like, Pakistan? I'm from Pakistan. They are so proud.
yeah, yeah.
Proud.
That,
So,
but that's what it is, London. Like, we forget how much it means to people just to be seen. Like, when you're seen, like, just have space and be seen. I feel that, but I wanted to create more opportunities. So it started for me. My career in education started being like, hey, if I'm on the inside, I can get my people in, right? Like, it'll be easier for them.
infiltrate the system.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be like, you got a guy from the inside. And then and then I just, like I told you, I feel like it became a place of service for me. And
Mhm.
it hurts. Like, I get affected. I still get affected by students, and I used to deny that in my early years, but now, 10 years of teaching, I'm like, no, I acknowledge how it feels because I put my heart out there. I'm
Yeah.
so, yeah, I teach at Parsons, which is where I went to university for my grad program. And I started teaching at Columbia 5 years ago. I teach more sustainability driven, sustainable startups. So how do you create initiatives within fashion that um, help the whole industry become more friendly and less degrading to the environment? At Parsons, I've taught a bunch of things. I used to teach fashion and culture. I taught fashion design, like a studio collection course. I taught menswear. I taught women's wear. Um, and then I also taught, like, the business side of designers at Parsons, being like, how can creative people start their own businesses and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Much needed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So now I think more and more I only teach twice a week now because we're busy with 142, but more and more so now, I teach more creatives how to run their businesses. And I feel like we always learn from people who kind of look like us. That's just how we are programmed as human creatures. Like,
Yeah.
somebody smells the same way as you, looks the same way as you. You're like, okay, tell me, what was it like?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So I think creative people learning business or math from somebody who's, asymmetrical and kind of alternative, if you want to say it, they're like, okay, if he can
It
do it,
helps. It
yeah,
helps because I don't, I mean, I can do it, the business part, but it just,
yeah,
I'd rather do the creative part. Like my
yeah,
mind is more on the creative part. So
yeah,
I'm dragging my ass trying to do the business
yeah.
part. But if it's from someone like you, then I'm like, oh, okay, we can do this. Like
We
I
can
can
do
do
it.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it makes me
All
feel
it's a,
more
it's a
secure.
it's a muscle, right? Like, we exercise that muscle. And you've met my brother and my co-founder. Like, he does the business part, but I do the business part just as much as him.
Exactly.
I just do the business and the creative part. He just does the business part. But we all have to do both. I feel that's the world we're living in. One of my goals is to have a generation of people creative people who actually believe that they don't need a business partner necessarily to be successful. If you
Hmm.
have one, that's great.
Hmm.
But even when you get a fantastic business partner, and whether they're your brother or not, whether you trust them, I hope you do or not, it doesn't mean that you are like your responsibility is done. That's like such a
Right.
cardinal mistake. You know,
That's
I
how
want
you
to,
fail.
yeah,
You have to know what's going on still. Like you
yeah,
can't just say,
yeah,
here, take over. Like
yeah,
your whole
yeah.
business will get got.
Or you handle it, or you take care of it. Somebody can handle it, but knowing what's going on there and understanding it, you don't have to do it, but you have to understand what your partner and the ownership is doing. That's really important. And when
Yeah,
somebody tells you, "Oh, this is too complicated," you're supposed to say, "No, explain it to me like a 2-year-old." Like,
exactly.
if there's nothing that's too, yeah, you have to trust your common sense, and as a creative person say, hey, if it's going to be my creativity that's going to make us the money, then as long as it takes, you have to have the patience to teach me.
Yeah, yeah,
And if they roll their eyes and they're annoyed and they're like, this is too complicated for you, and if you feel stupid asking, don't. I would rather us, I'm putting myself in the same boat, creative people feeling stupid 10 times over rather than walk away embarrassed and not know what's going on. Because
absolutely.
too many of us have walked out of that room being like, I feel stupid. I don't get it. And I'm never going to get it. No, you can get it.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
okay.
What for? Okay, for me, who have I have a job and I have my own brand as well, so I'm trying to build my brand. But for years, this has been like over a decade now that I've been trying to do this, and I have been like little by little I've progressed. But being someone who's had to have a 9 to 5 or a corporate job and be a creative, like, and you're doing it, like, so
Yeah.
what advice would you give? What were your processes, your your challenges, things that you've learned from? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to lie to you. And you know this, like, doing the side hustle takes a lot out of you, and there's sacrifices that are made. And um, for me, it's my baby, right? So the first thing is, apart from any like crazy strategy, you just have to work your ass off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's like double time, right?
Yeah.
And then it, there's a price to pay for it. I've paid the price. Like, our family members and people who love us, who want our time and our company, they get neglected,
Yeah.
and that's real. Um, and so before there's any strategy, it's just hours, right? Like, it's your 10,000 hours. You know, they're like,
Hmm.
you do 10,000 hours
The master.
to perfect an instrument.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. You're creating something. You put those 10,000 hours. You're gonna take the 10,000 hours. I think we just talked too many times of stories about people who like straight out of school became really like somebody just hit big. We keep talking about that, but
And that's why I wanted to do this, because
yeah,
this is the reality. This is what
yeah,
needs to be seen, and this is what needs to inspire people to know, like, it's not like that. It doesn't just
yeah,
come magically.
yeah, and it's the longer game, right? I always tell people, like, my advice to everybody, if you're going to do the side hustle, is this: find out something you really really love, because it's going to take time.
Hmm.
And people are like, well, what if it happens in the first year or 2 years? I'm like, you think you're lucky? I think you're unlucky. Why? Because if it happened to you in the first 2 years, that's great, but your business is going to have ups and downs. And
Yeah,
if you get used to that idea of success, it's going to mess you up when you have the downturn,
that's
right?
right.
So I always tell people it's better if it took you longer a little bit, because you're developing the mental discipline to stay in the game, right? And you're
Yeah.
testing yourself. Do I really want to do this? So finding out something you love means, like, not thinking that this is something that you're going to do for 5 years and then do something else and flip houses or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so many creative people are like, I want to do something I love to become wealthy so I can not do my creative thing. I'm like, then wait a minute. I thought you loved this, right? So, like, my litmus test is, I'm like, whether I was 20 times wealthier or 20 times, you know, poorer, for lack of a better word, I would
Hmm.
still be doing the same thing. I would literally be doing the same thing. So if you can find that first, then time is on your side.
Yeah.
Time's on your side. Then who cares how long it takes? It could
Yeah.
happen tomorrow. It could go away day after tomorrow. It could come back. Like this is what we do, right?
Yeah.
So the world revolves around you. So then the question comes, but what is that thing? How do you find that thing? Because that thing that we are compelled to do, what is it? And and my answer to that question is that, well, number one, that thing is a broader thing. It's not a thing, it's a feeling.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we chase these feelings that we get when we spend 6 or 7 or 8 hours a day doing something. It's the feeling.
Yeah.
So we define what is that feeling. And then you figure out the thing that gives you that feeling.
Hmm.
Now, in fashion, I'll be more specific. Like for me, that feeling was, oh, I love I was born in Halloween. I love the idea of costume and fantasy and clothing and dressing up. I still enjoy it very much so.
Hmm.
And for me, it's a place of, oh, I feel great. I still feel great where somebody I don't know who's never met me is connected to me through a piece of clothing. For me, it's a vehicle of conversation, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I thought of a white t-shirt that way, and this person is wearing that white t-shirt, and they don't know me, and I don't know them, but we're connected. It's
Yeah.
such a beautiful feeling for me. I could die with that feeling. So I love that feeling.
I
Uh,
know you do it very well. You're very, and I admire you for that. You're very passionate about and intentional. You're so intentional when it comes to the pieces of clothing that we have, like the names, what they mean, the
yeah.
articles names, why you did this, how it's connected to you, how it's connected to somebody else. Like I love that. And people love that when I explain like that's the passion that they see in
Yeah,
me. That's like
yeah,
the background of like the textiles and just the
yeah.
stories, like, and something that they may not have known, and they walk away with
Right, with
something,
something that,
that they learn, and
and,
yeah, they learn.
and people want to know, right? I think people want human stories because
Yeah,
it makes us feel like, how did we go to sleep as kids? Our parents told us stories, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it makes us feel like somebody's telling something to us which is unfiltered, unproduced. It's just a real story. So, um, to finish your question that you asked is that, find that thing that you love and ask yourself that if all and then write down what does success look like for that thing that you love.
Hmm.
And when you write down what success looks like, and success can look like money and net worth, whatever, ask yourself that if this thing that I wrote down, if it all came true tomorrow, like a genie,
Hmm.
would I still be doing that thing and what my life would look like? And if the answer starts being, be very honest, if the answer starts being be like, well, I would do that thing, but not as much and not differently, then you ask yourself, is it that thing?
Hmm.
And if you're like, okay, this is my thing, and this is what it looks like, how I'm successful, but literally, even after successful, my thing remains exactly the same. I want to do exactly the same. Then you know you found that thing.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I love that.
You know.
I
So
love that.
and then also, I'll also anecdote that for me, it was dressing up in clothing and connecting with people through clothing. It changes every 7, 10 years of our life, right?
I was gonna say you have to look that over to reevaluate what that
Yeah.
even means to you, because you're not the same person.
We're not the same person, right? But there are two ways to look at it. For me, I feel like the older I get as a creative person, I am in pursuit of shedding off all the layers that are put on us and reconnecting with our most innocent, beautiful,
Authentic
younger,
self.
authentic self, right? Like, I want to go back. It's like life is full circle. Like, you want to go back to a kid and what excited you because I still feel that that's deep in us.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
there's a bunch of dirt that we're just shaking off, right?
Yes.
So, so I think to your point, London, it changes every decade. For me, it's been consistent with fashion,
Hmm.
but I never said, "Oh, I'm a menswear designer, and I'm
Me
not going to design
too.
women," or I'm a fashion designer and I'm not cutting a pattern, or I'm a fashion designer. I'm not going to do graphics or illustrations. I'm like, listen, I'm a designer. My medium of conversation is clothing,
Yeah.
but I'm a designer. Like, if I had time, I would want to be a singer. Like, I love music. All my
Yeah.
collections are heavily inspired by music too. So,
Yeah.
I think yes, creative people need focus. We need focus to put our 10,000 hours. We need discipline, right? There's some parts of my day-to-day work, London, which are not fun, but I do them because I know this is
Yeah.
my thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like it changes. I've done a bunch of roles in the fashion world in my career, but I never let those roles take away from being like, what is my core thing? It's that feeling. It's that feeling
Yeah.
of dressing myself and seeing somebody who I don't know
Yeah.
be connected to me through a piece of clothing. It's really as simple as that. And we get that feeling in our cute little store.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. You know, I
It's
love it.
it's
And that's what really re-inspired, because I forgot I actually started this in 2023 when I was in Paris.
yeah.
Like, this idea for this creative conversations has been probably even before that. And I just didn't know what to do with it. I kept hearing it, but I just didn't know. I was like, all right. But now it comes full circle, right? Because it was the time for alignment. It was the time for it to happen, which I love. Another thing you just said, what did you say that made me think? Oh, I never thought I was a designer. I never called myself a designer ever. Like, I never. I was like, no, not even an artist. I'm not an artist. What? No, I don't. I need training. Like, you know what I mean? But now, yeah, I am. I'm an artist. I'm a designer. I just had a conversation with my best friend a couple of days ago, and she had a dream where I was in the dream, and it was about like pattern making and all this stuff. And she just came back from Bali, so she's been doing like pattern making and indigo dyeing and all of those things. And I'm like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not a pattern, I'm not at this moment. But then I really have to sit back and be like, you know what? I do make patterns, although I see it as art. Like, I don't see it
Yeah.
as uh, textiles. Like, I don't know. I see it in a different way. But you never know, because
Yeah.
tomorrow I may be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, let me throw this on some
I
fabric.
think I think like it's isn't it strange, London, that when it comes to an art like music, right? Music as an art form, it's more
Sorry, my
believable.
friend said literally, you make patterns.
Right. Yeah. But like I was going to say that it's so much more normalized for somebody being like an accountant or a finance or insurance and be a musician on the side, right?
Yeah,
People are like, oh, you're a doctor, but you can play guitar with your mates, like you do a band, right? That's a creative thing.
yeah,
So why is it why is it different for somebody being, something else, uh, not being a designer in their day job, but having a very strong design sense? Just that's what they're into. So
yeah,
what I'm trying to say in a poor way is that I really believe there's creativity in all of us, and it's about the hours that we spend polishing it. I think
yeah,
the conversation is too muddled by talent. We talk about talent, 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 talent. I'm like, okay, there's a why are we talking about talent? I want to talk about the talent that's polished, the talent that has a discipline. I
yes,
am a teacher. I see talent everywhere. Some people have a naturally good voice. Some
exactly.
people naturally draw well. But the manifestation of that talent, where it's something that connects people,
Hmm.
that's the discipline and the hours.
Yeah,
You
absolutely. And
know?
that's where, and I came to you, and I was like, man. And I'm so glad. This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example. I don't know if you remember, I came to you and I'm like, I love to create, but I needed to, like, what am I creating? Like, why am I creating? Like, what is it connecting to, right?
Yeah.
And I had a conversation maybe 2 sessions ago where I talked to my friend about it not necessarily having to connect to anything, right? And so, because eventually it'll come out, right? And so
Yeah.
you're just being a vessel, really, at this moment for whatever creation. I believe that we are all creators. Like you said, we all are creative. We all come from a creator.
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
can we not
Not
be
be
able to, yeah,
to
to be able
manifest.
to design and or whatever it is. But for me, this is like another reason why I want to do this is like connect to your natural gifts.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't come here, we're literally in slavery. Like, we're
Yeah.
just getting paid. Like,
No.
that's all it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Like, um, instead of doing what we came here, what we're supposed to do. And I think that system is changing though. I think
Yeah.
that uh, barriers are being broken down, not necessarily the way that we may want it to, but
Yeah.
they're happening.
I think
Um,
so. I would like to believe so. Like you and I, on when we're at the store, we see it. How starved people are for just authentic, beautiful, independent conversation. They're so touched,
yeah,
because we see like this. I don't want to call it globalization, but we see everything looks just so mass done. As soon as something has like a little glimmer of success, it gets saturated like that, right? It gets
yes,
exploded. There's a bunch of money that's thrown at it, and people want to squeeze the juice out of it and then be done with it and let it die and move on to the next thing. It's like, like the rat race. Really, we have a
the
stretch.
rat race.
It really
Yeah,
is that, right? And like you and I witness people, creatives and non-creative, whatever, like all kinds of people, all ages, just be touched with just just an authentic connection.
yeah.
Just like
Even
a fun.
even young.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what age. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I love. It doesn't matter nationality, ethnicity. Like, that's what I love, and I guess that's what always saw the world to be. Although I know it's not like that, but in my eyes, I just thought that, before I got the influences from, around me, but I thought everybody was
Right.
lovey dovey,
Yeah.
happy. I'm not going to say don't get mad or angry because I definitely do, but
Yeah.
like, just not what we are today.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always ways to come back to it. We meet all kinds of people, like you said, and I think it's an exercise every day to, especially as a creative, not to get jaded and not to lose hope and be a happy creative. This is interesting, London. I used to think for the longest time that my best work came from sadness or strife or pain. And this is another very common thing within, a lot of people in music. Like you can only write a heartfelt song and happy songs do bad. I mean, I'm not a musician, so I can't speak to that.
Didn't you win a VMA? Don't play with me.
No, no, that that's another story. Pre-social media, yeah. I was trying to do all kinds of things to get noticed, yeah, like an MTV thing, yeah. Um, but I was gonna say that um, I think that I think that all of us are trying every day to not get jaded, right? And to find out how we can create from a place of happiness and contentment. And one of the reasons why there's so much Bowie inspired stuff,
Mhm.
it's not as sure I like his music, but it's not about necessarily the music. It's about saying, hey, this is somebody who enjoyed commercial success, and this is somebody who lived a beautiful life as an artist. And for me,
Yeah.
that's very exemplary because he died from cancer, but a week or 2 weeks before he died, he put out a record.
Mm.
I'm like, my God, this person died doing what he loved. What a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful life.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like, oh, I am, nobody gets me, nobody understands me, I'm going to do it my way, and if you get it, you get it, you don't get it, you don't get it. No, he was like, okay, there's some work that I do which is for me, there's some work that I do which is for the audience.
Right.
And he enjoyed critical and commercial success through his life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he held both of them. And at the end of the day, balancing those two things and producing work from a place of happiness is what I think all of us owe as creative people to us. And I this is the new phase in me. I want to be able to trust what I create from a place of happiness rather than Absolute, absolute. It's, because we feel a lot of emotion when we're like super sad, but it's okay. We can feel a lot of emotion when we're super happy and we want to share.
I
You
love
know?
that you say that because that's a part of, I battle with that all the time, right? But that's the part of the resistance as well, right? Our joy
Yeah.
and being able to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like because of everything going on, it's like, damn, I feel terrible. I feel terrible. I feel hopeless, with the genocide and everything.
Yeah.
Like, and so it makes me be like, how can I do anything with this going on, right? But then I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to create. I have to create something for them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not even necessarily for me. Like,
Yeah.
I, just like you said, being a teacher and passing down this information as service. I feel like our lives were never about us, right? We come into this world to experience what we experience, to be able to help other people that are experiencing the same or
The
similar
same.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And they feel seen. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And like when we speak about there's such awful things that are happening in the world, but one thing that Pakistani culture taught me is that some cultures have a sense of, you can call it resilience, maybe they're numb to it, but whatever it is, I've witnessed little acts of kindness in
Hmm.
the most saddest of situations. And
Yeah.
it inspires me. I'm like, wow, this person decided today that amongst a terrible circumstance, they're like, no, this little act of kindness to a fellow human will make me happy.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it. I've seen it with people who had so much less than what I have.
Yeah.
Um, and that's happiness, right? So I'm like, if that person in the worst of circumstances decides, hey, it's a human thing to be happy and to share happiness and affect somebody that way, I owe that too.
Yeah.
I can honor the sadness and the responsibility of feeling for and doing for all the terrible that goes on in the world, and try to make sure that my footprint is not blind to it.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, there's also a responsibility to acknowledge that I'm not there, I'm here. So how am I honoring my existence?
Mm.
You know, we have to honor that.
How am I honoring my existence? I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I knew I was gonna love this. All the people that we had. That's why I did this. We have such great conversations,
Yeah.
and people don't get to witness it. And I
Mhm.
feel like people need to be a part of it. That's
Yeah.
how the change is gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long did it take? I know that it officially started, it being 1432 during like the pandemic, but like
Yeah.
how long had
Oh
you
wow.
had it? Like London Kyle
20
has been like
2014.
over.
2014. I came up with,
Mm.
it was my master's thesis in graduate school, so I graduated in 2014. I kind of came up with it in fall of 2013, and then originally we were a shoe company, so our website went online, I want to say 2018, so already it took like 3-4 years for us to like just get our bearing right. um yeah, and then originally we were just a shoe company, and we sneaker culture was like at its peak. So selling like slippers, these kind of dandy slippers to New Yorkers wasn't gonna happen. But people loved our story and mission. But like in streetwear culture, in the like those are great for like kind of resort vacation kind of. So I call them, I was like, Florida moms liked us, but our New Yorkers liked our mission. But like it was like such a disconnect. So, but like for me, London, it was not about the shoes. It was about the mission. It was about the philosophy of 1432. When we create something, which we're in the long run for, it doesn't matter whether it's a shoe or a sweatshirt, because what people are buying are, sure, they're buying the face of that thing, which is a jacket. But if they come back, they're coming back not just for that. There's something, because there's so much other stuff that we can participate in, right? Like there's so much other stuff. Like why this? Why this? Why now? So 2020, when the pandemic happened, everybody was very, very scared about what's going to happen. We were already such a small company. We're like, okay, we don't sell that many shoes anyway. We don't have that much traction. We don't have that much money. We've made this pledge that we're going to give half the money away. So I was like, I have to honor the pledge and the mission statement, which is we are here for the artisans. So, in the way to save jobs of the artisans who weren't going to get stimulus checks in Pakistan, I was like, let me make something or let me design something that you can get paid for. And I remember I did a shoe that was a home slipper, a mask out of scraps, and then because I'm a teacher, I taught them over Zoom. They'd never made a hoodie before, but I taught them over Zoom how to make a sweatshirt because we were indoors. And it was funny. All the hand detailing that happened on the sweatshirts has become 1432 signature that
Signature, yeah.
it's hand embroidered. That hand embroidery was not a design thing. It was there because we didn't have machines. So we're a
Wow.
shoe company. We don't have the machine to do a hem or finish. So I'm like, we don't have machines, but we have our hands and we got time. So let's just do it by hand because shoemaking has a lot of work done by your hands. So I was like, okay, like we're gonna make a hoodie, but we're gonna probably have to make it by hand because we don't have the machine. So let's just do it by hand. It'll be more precious and intentional. And that became our signature thing. And but it came from a place of just doing right by our artisans. And since the hoodie and now it's the jacket, and every season we're very blessed. Like there's a shirt. If you asked me, like what I've been in the industry for 20 years. Like I can't tell you why people like you and I talk about it so much. We're like, why do they like this? Whatever. But
I
honestly, like
know.
it's divine. It's something else.
It
This is where
it
I
de-
get
it
romantic.
it definitely is because something will
Yeah.
pop for like
Yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
and then it won't.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, it's like a new energy sweeps through
Yeah.
there and it's like popping
Yeah.
again. Like, yeah,
Because
for sure.
like sure, there are many variables that we as managers and as stewards take care of. We cover our variables, like whatever it is, like pricing, merchandising, quality, service,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. But after all that we do as humans, this is where I get romantic. There's something divine about saying, "Hey, people are gonna like green today because they just are." I mean, like, okay, they're ready. You know what I mean? And
And I
that's
didn't
what,
realize you had the olive green for a while. I looked back at that video. I thought this was like a new color that you put, which is
yeah,
great because that is now the like
yeah.
trendy color.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that definitely divine.
yeah. So it happens when it happens, and that's how 1432 started. We were shoes, and we did a hoodie that took off, and like I'll say another thing. Even though I'm in education, sometimes a lot of information gets in our head and gets in our way of doing something that's so simple and one plus one. What COVID did was I was talking about this with somebody the other day. I was like, for 1 second, all of us felt something together.
Mm,
Such a silver lining. Like everybody felt the same thing. It was an equalizer. Like we
yeah,
all, the human being said, I, I don't know, I don't speak your language, I don't look like you, I don't believe in maybe in the same God, but I feel what you feel. How magical is that?
yeah,
Like everybody just being on the same page of this
yeah,
feeling. One time we all felt the same fear and worry for our loved ones, and our hearts were open. We were connected, and that's the time where we come along and say, hey, while your heart's open, we're trying to do something with somebody. And I shed away all my education and all the bougie stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
here's me, here's a hoodie, I'm trying to sell it in the cold in a cart, wherever you let me, because I'm trying to do good in the world. Just
yeah,
simple, old school,
yeah,
like, and people just like that's how 1432 took off. It wasn't an influencer, it wasn't a magazine, it wasn't an article, it wasn't any hearsay. It was just me saying, here's something that I made to help somebody else. It's gonna feed me and them. You're hurting, I'm hurting, we're all hurting.
yeah,
Will you help me?
yeah,
Humbly, no pretentious, no, like, will you help me?
yeah.
People said, yes, I will help you.
Mm.
it's like it renewed my faith in humanity, the kindness of of human
And
beings.
that's what makes me feel good every day that when I come to work, because again, it's not like you said, yeah, it looks great. It looks great, but that's not why people are supporting.
Yeah,
Like they're supporting what we do, like point blank period.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, it's just something magical about it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, and it translates to people like yourself, and hopefully, we're creating a larger community of believers who
Yes,
believe that this is a way to live.
for
Right.
sure. What where do you see what do you see for the future of 1432?
I see I see us growing very organically. We don't make those big leaps and bounds where somebody invests in you, then you blow up big, and you're like the biggest thing in town. I see us as something that organically grows, and growth means bringing our message to more doorsteps, right? Like, but doing it right, like not being in a hurry where we borrowed a bunch of money and we can't pay our bills, because our first responsibility is not growth. Our first responsibility is to make sure that the households we support are sustained. They should not feel their livelihood. So that I feel that I take that responsibility very seriously. So we want to grow, but we're very mindful of our footsteps. We like, how do we get carried in other stores? Can we produce a little bit more, holding on to our values of how we produce, where we produce from? Um, are we having partners? If somebody carries our stuff, are they going to be able to do it season after season, or is it just like a one-time thing?
Yeah.
So organic growth. But you asked me where do I see it? I always see our future as, people looking behind their shoulder and saying, hey, those guys, they're still around. They've
Yeah.
always been here. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That's what I would be like. Those guys, they've always been around doing the thing. They're still here doing what they do with the same amount of love and passion. And I love that as our legacy and our story.
I
That's who
just
I want to
had
be.
people this week from 3, 4 years ago, like, oh my God, I was here and I got this, or talk about Boston, because then you do like a pop up in Boston.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I was in Boston and oh my God, and they are so excited. I had this lady, it touched my heart. Oh my God, it touched my heart. So she came to the booth and she's looking at the hoodies, and as she sees one of the Delano, she's like, I think I think we got this before. So then she calls. I think my mom got this before. So she um is calling her children, her son and her daughter, and I'm like, oh, well, I can look it up for you, because
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, I look up
yeah.
her name,
Uh-huh.
and she was there.
Yeah.
And but what was beautiful about it is that her mom had passed. And
Oh,
so to see that purchase, to see her name, to know that, oh my gosh, she got this for us when we were, back then, and it just made her
oh
reminisce.
wow.
Yeah, it was such, and I think her mom
Wow.
had just passed like the week before. So
Oh
it
my
was
God.
like, yeah,
Wow.
I couldn't
Yeah.
stop hugging her. I was just like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's those moments, like, and it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be tragedy. There was this lady when I first started. She was pregnant, and
Uh-huh.
she
Yeah.
came back maybe 2 weeks ago. And and I hate that I can't remember every single
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I meet. I wish I
Yeah.
could, but
Yeah.
after she started talking, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember her. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just so amazing to
Yeah.
know that they come back. Even Amon that came when you were there, the
Yeah.
teenager. I
Yeah.
was so happy to see
Yeah.
him. Like,
Yeah.
and he was on my mind. So those are the things, like building, for me, that's building a community. That's a
Yeah.
1432
Yeah.
community. And they want to come back and see us. And it's not necessarily about making a purchase. They just come
Yeah.
back to just chill and hang and talk.
And I love that. I think that's more real and more precious than anything. And that's I mean, sustaining that or growing that is hard. But I that's the thing. Like I think growth should not mean that you lose that. The
Yeah.
growth should mean that's you sustain that, and it's hard, but it just means it has to be slower. We get reminded of like we get reminded every day how to not curtail ambition, but how to take ambition and have it manifest in a very healthy, organic way. You know.
And I think that what works for us is, again, the connection, the communication, because all of these brands don't have what we have, where people can literally come up to us and
Yeah.
meet us, talk to us. You know,
Yes.
they go crazy when you're there, and I'm like, oh, or Umar's there. I'm like, the
Yeah.
founders are here. What? Oh
Yeah.
my god, I love
Yeah.
this. So it's just that they get to see who we really are
Or yeah.
behind everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what I love. Yeah,
You know, and it's special. I mean, it's very, very special. I've always enjoyed my time there. There's stressful times at the store. Sometimes we're not doing well, but generally, like, I always walk away having such beautiful moments with people, and I'm like, my God, what we do, what a blessed thing that we do. So I'm always,
yeah.
yeah, always blessed.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I want to. You're the perfect person to do this, but I want to start doing this at the end of everyone. But I have some affirmation cards that my friend, she's an artist, created an affirmation deck. So I just want to pull and see what comes out for us to end.
Okay.
But give me a second because it's right there.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Um, pull a card for the collective. What is the message that we all need to know from this creative conversations with my brother? All right, let's see. All right. I can't make this up. Creative energy surges through me and leads me to new and brilliant ideas.
I love it.
I
I'll
cannot
take
make
that.
it up. Wow. Perfect.
Wow.
Well, I love you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It was an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm always here for you. I love your journey, and I'm always going to be there for you.
Thank you. All right. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.